You're listening to the Beauty Beyond Bella podcast, powered by Formula Wellness.
I'm your host, Dr. Yvette Suarez, owner and medical director of Bella Excellence, a diamond-accredited anti-aging med spa in the Tampa Bay, Florida area. On this show, we explore the latest trends in health, beauty, and anti-aging medicine while celebrating the inspiring journeys and achievements of our guests.
Well, welcome everyone. Today I have Darlene and Kevin with me. They are really amazing. I've known them for quite a while, and I have to say, every time I see them, they make me laugh. They're really hysterical. They've been married for an eternity, as we say, and I just wanted to introduce these wonderful people. So I can't remember. Do you remember how long ago that you walked into Bella's door?
Yeah, 20 years ago.
Was it that long? Well, so you'll probably remember better than I do. About when you moved here.
Yeah, well, as soon as we moved back, it's like, uh-oh, I'm starting to age. I need to take care of the wrinkles.
Yeah, we kind of know why the women come in and sometimes the men follow. We were trying to remember how that all happened, that I have your beautiful entire family coming to see us.
Yeah, kids,
Yeah, I think she walked in first, and then she was coming back after getting some Botox procedures, and she started to, all those wrinkles were starting on the way, and
Oh,
well, you did have a lot, okay, but it allowed me to sit there and say, well, I don't need to age gracefully. I have to age, but if I can do something to modify that, I was in my mid-40s by that time, and I've also started to compete with all these new youngsters coming in and making sure you look as good as you feel type of deal. So that was kind of the impetus for me to jump on the bandwagon. It was certainly our daughters and all that, my son-in-law. So
yeah, brought along their boyfriends too.
Yeah, no, I think it's really fun to see everyone, right? You have the whole entire generational. I still think, though, there is still a little stigma for men, right, for this Brotox and coming in. Have you seen that or experienced that?
well, if people ask, I will answer. But
You don't
I say I don't volunteer. I mean, I've had people, man, have the crow's feet like you used to us. But yeah, I mean, there's a stigma. I think as a girl dad, it was maybe a little bit different. I see certainly the ladies are doing it, and women of all ages. So yeah, it was more of a stigma than it was anything else. I mean, there's no reason why not. If you want to feel good about yourself, you want to look as good as you possibly can. I'll be 64 next month, and I feel great. I still do a lot of exercises, ride bikes, work out, mental acuity back. So a lot of things that I think men can certainly benefit from. It's if they can get out of the right way.
That is so true. I think that's for both men and women.
Yeah.
I think men are a little bit harder. I think sometimes the ego gets in the way, or they're afraid to tell their buddies
That's a
of
big
what they're doing, right? Whether it's getting Botox or testosterone, there's this stigma that they don't want to talk about it. I think the more we talk about it, the more it becomes apparent that it's very natural and that everyone is doing it, and they really shouldn't be.
But there's stigma for women too.
There is.
Well, I mean, yeah, you have that with the Hollywood folks. They don't want to admit they're doing it. I don't find it's something you have to hide away from. I mean, if you're doing it, admit it. If somebody asks you, I don't have to go out.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you like yourself. You'd like to see, what you look like in the mirrors. Well,
No, listen, I agree. So, look, women go through menopause, men go through andropause. It is a natural progression. We all get there. There's none of us that if we live long enough are not going to go through that. Yet, if you didn't have your thyroid functional or your B12 levels were low, no one, or vitamin D, no one would have any trouble treating that. There'd be no stigma in saying, I have low B12.
right.
But there's always a stigma about having low testosterone, yet everyone does, right? Particularly as we age. So I love having people talk about that. I think people out there are still a little bit afraid or unsure about being on bioidentical hormones.
I'm on hormone replacement, so I'm getting testosterone. And, it's done wonders in regards to feeling better about yourself, feeling energetic, actually wanting to work out, and then also then seeing the results of your working out. It manifests itself in a lot of different ways that are positive. Won't get into all of them. But Yeah, but it is a stigma because I was not shy about sharing with folks, certainly my peers and even their kids, that I was on it. And, it's like, oh, there's something wrong with you because you had low testosterone. It's like,
Right.
no, it's called getting older. And, so not on testosterone, like you would see somebody, Mr. Olympian, I'm in a testosterone zone, which is adequate for my age. So again, I can't reiterate enough in regards to make myself feel better. Then, and I still have to compete with those young just. You still do. You're just more behind me now than you used to be.
Well, I don't know. You might have better testosterone levels than some of the your young people that you're competing with. Wow. We talked about a little bit earlier about our mental capacity, right? The mental clarity, I think, is the most important thing for me for testosterone. The focus, the energy, even lean body mass, right? Like you said, you're seeing results when you go work out. And I always tell people, if you're working out and you're working out and nothing's happening, a lot of times it is a hormonal imbalance or a diet or a nutrition imbalance. And so kind of helping the entire thing really helps people, but they still don't want to do that, right? People do one thing, they don't want to do a second, a third, and we have to do it all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a commitment, right? I mean, if you're going to do that, I mean, it's, you just have to make a commitment to do it. And, it's not nothing's ever to me. It was all, you do it over time and you see it over time. When I first went to testosterone, I wasn't going into the gym. So it wasn't like magically all of a sudden I started developing muscle.
Right.
The mental acuity was there, those types of things, but it wasn't going to be, it doesn't just automatically give you a lean mass. So you have to sit there and do all the other things associated with that, and certainly a proper diet. And so it really did, for me, is really start to concentrate when you start to get the blood panels. I mean, and I learned more about my own body just by reviewing that with you all and understanding and how you sit there through diet and through exercise, you can manipulate those things in a positive way. So,
But you can also communicate with your doctor on how you're feeling and what you feel like you know more about what the levels are off.
Did you have trouble early when you were going through menopause? Like, did your doctor understand? I feel like a lot of times our primary cares or OBGYNs are not willing to really treat the bioidentical hormone.
They weren't. And I brought it up, and their thought was at the time, and I don't know if it's still this way because my new doctor that I go to now is pro bioidenticals, and they were more or less like, well, that causes cancer.
Right.
And the negativity scared me, and I didn't want to try it even. And after a while, I had friends that were trying it, and they're like, oh my goodness, you don't have to feel tired all the time. You don't have to feel like you're working your butt off to get muscle and to maintain your muscle, or to, stop from getting tears in your muscles, that kind of thing. It's so much more beneficial to women, especially who've lost all that ability, and sexual too. I mean, that just all of the things that go with it, you don't even think about until it's discussed, which again, discussing it even was a negative. But you find out that you don't have to have those symptoms. You don't have to be miserable. Even when you're interested, it's like, no, you will actually feel like you did when you were in your 30s, which I will say, all of the positives that go with it outweigh. And I'm not saying it does cause cancer. I don't know the statistics, but my doctors are now like, no, it actually helps you physically, mentally. I mean, I'm sleeping again where I never, oh my goodness, my sleep was down to maybe 2-3 hours, and then I'd be up and couldn't get back to sleep. And just sleeping clears your mind and gives you the ability to focus on what you should be focusing on. And that's not all the negativity that's going on with your face and with your body. You start seeing positive things, and just no depression, none of that, which my girlfriends all talk about that with menopause, on how depression takes over. And nobody even talks about that. Oh, that's expected when you get older. That's just life. And I have to say that even that's been addressed. I was never a depressed person, never had negative or not happy thoughts, but I'm a lot happier now. Just living day to day, it's something to look forward to, getting up and working out and looking in the mirror and not seeing crow's feet, and just feeling now as good as what my skin feels. And my sister even's like, what are you doing? You're doing something different. You look so much younger than I'm a year older than her. And now she's doing it, and she lives in Maryland still. And she's like, it must be Florida living. I'm like, no, it's not living in Florida. It's seeing the right physicians and taking care of the underlying things. You don't even realize that you're losing your hormones or whatever. So just get your hormones checked. I even tell my daughters now, and they're only in their 30s or 40s, get their hormones checked, because your body isn't always with what's going into food nowadays and the environment. It is killing the people today. And just get a boost, just check it and find out if you're on the levels you should be.
I agree. I think every age we're seeing people, before it used to be 40s and 50s that we start to expect the lower testosterone and then lower progesterone, then lower estradiol. Now we're seeing it in young people.
Yeah.
And whether it's stress related, food related, I think it has to do with whatever their environment is and what they're going through. But you're right. If they don't check it and they live in this constant fear and this constant exhaustion and not feeling well, that's not a great way to live, right? Because we have the most anxiety right now in our country, the most depression. We know as humans, we have a lot of rhythms, and so we need to have good sleep, right? They say about 8 hours a night is what's going to improve longevity of life. Really hard for women to get good sleep without progesterone, and really hard for men to get good sleep. Testosterone really helps them sleep and focus well. And then you have osteoporosis for women, right? That is a big thing.
And I was on the verge of that.
All right. And the hormones are going to reverse that.
Yes.
It's always interesting. We've had these hormones our entire life. We've done really well with them. You hit menopause, they all go away. And then all of a sudden we're told now they cause cancer, but we've had them for the last 50 years.
Right.
Right. And so there were old studies were done, which I think a lot of those myths have now been taken care of. But we still fight with that. I still have patients that come back and tell me, my doctor says you're giving me cancer and I have to get off.
Yes. They still say that you're going to grow
Yes.
cancer cells.
Yeah, I was like by primary care, you need to lose weight. No, he was overweight and smoked. It's like physician heal thyself.
Yes. Yeah. Practice what you preach. Yeah.
I mean, I just on, just on the side note, when, talk about when Darlene was talking about going through those things and their struggles, I see it as the husband, and it was certainly disconcerting, because here's somebody who works out a lot, wasn't getting any results that she was. So, for me, I felt bad for her, because she was doing all the things she was supposed to do, eating right, doing everything, but you can't invent artificially, either testosterone or your biology. So the fact that she can augment that and get back to that has been, from my perspective, been just nice to see. She gets back to being who she truly is.
Well, and you were always saying you're grumpy all the time. It's like more than usual.
Well, look, we call it grumpy old man syndrome, but women are just as grumpy. Yes. And I love that he said that, because he really empathized with what you were going through. And I tell that even to my man and other people, like when we're deficient or something is going on, there's normally a reason.
The Formula Wellness 4 cornerstones are nutrition, functional wellness, aesthetics, and brain health. These serve as a guide rail for individuals that are pursuing longevity inside and out. Formula Wellness is setting the new benchmark in preventative healthcare and aesthetics. Thank you for all of your support. To learn more, please visit www.formulawellness.com.
Like, we don't mean to be mean and bitchy.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Okay, maybe occasionally. I mean, she is a fiery, Italian, and I'm a fiery Latin girl, but in general, we want to be kind and sweet all the time. But imagine these women that are going through this, and we're still doing our day-to-day lives. We're still taking care of our children. We're still taking care of our husbands. We're still cooking. We still have a job. We are trying to be everything to everyone, and we're empty, right? And so it's hard to pour into someone else when we're so empty. And I think hormones and nutrition and all of that fills us up again, so that we could have a healthier life and healthier relationships again.
Yeah, definitely.
She's like, I needed that. And we save marriages here, I think, so for the most part.
Well, for sure. Why are you grumpy all the time? I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm feel depleted. I'm not getting sleep, and just I feel run down all the time.
Right.
And I don't have that feeling anymore. I mean, just energetic bunny.
And we love that. We want to be energetic buddies, right?
Yeah.
We want to keep going day by day.
Yeah.
What do you see as far as what we can tell others to kind of watch for, or in making sure they are going to get their blood work done? Anything that you would recommend? I know you're talking about starting a little bit earlier, making sure they're good nutrition.
Well, I was raised, my mom was a vegetarian, and she passed that on about what she thought was horrible in food, what she thought was horrible in the atmosphere and daily living. And that made me more aware. So when I started feeling like I was low energy, low, and I'm thinking, well, maybe it's the food I'm eating. And then, no, my whole body, I'm still eating well. What is going on? So when I read your sign that you were getting bioidenticals, my OBGYN, she's like, you don't want to do that. I'll put you on some regular, what everyone else gets at the doctor's office. Yeah, one size fits all. And she put me on just a pill to take, and that didn't do a whole lot. It was the progesterone, I believe, and then patches. And it was like it was a fit for everyone, but it wasn't a fit for me because I felt like it wasn't helping anything. And when I talk to other people about, and especially you, that, it could be more individualized and monitored, where we take your blood and find out what you're deficient in and tailor it for you. I just thought, well, maybe I should try that because everybody's different.
Right.
I mean, just being smaller than most people, being only 5'1", maybe the patch I'm getting for whatever isn't working for me because maybe it's too much. So just getting more individualized with blood tests and monitoring it to see where I should be was a big difference.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people also know there's so many different types, right? Some people are against pellets, but I love pellets personally.
Oh, I do now. I didn't at first.
So have I made you a believer now?
Yeah.
That's every 6 months.
Yes.
Well, it's easier for you.
Well, both women in general are going to be every 4 months, and men are
Yes.
about every 5 to 6 months. And again, we're trying to mimic that rhythmic
Yes.
flow of what the hormones would look like. And I agree. I've tried troches, I've tried creams,
Yeah.
I've even done injections. But it is one. Let's be real. We're not always the most compliant people that are going to do something every single day at the right time when we should be taking it, or even getting injections. We know that most men don't like shots. And so coming in and getting a shot, or God forbid, they will never give it to themselves. And we understand it's a big needle when they get injections. So we have to teach the wives, yes, how to do it. But I agree. I kind of love pellets. I love the concept of them. I love that they're bioidentical. I mean, I think it changes people's lives immediately. They feel better within 2 weeks, and that takes a long time sometimes with patches and tropes.
Well, you're worried about if you're going swimming. Is a patch floating by me?
Air
Somebody
wind,
else
there goes your
gonna see
hormone.
that? Oh, goodness. Or if I have a bathing suit on, can they see that patch? Like, it's just so much more discreet, I guess you could say. And
And the absorption rate is much better, right? So
Yeah.
you can see that the clarity, the brain fog, literally within 2 to 3 weeks will go away. And the goal is, and I think we do it correctly, right? And this is why doing the lab work and follow-up is so important, is we want to make sure that that curve goes up and kind of stays at this platform, versus a lot of other ones will go up and they'll let them crash, and then they
Yes.
go up and crash. There's no reason for us to ever get to that point where we crash and we start to feel terrible again.
Yeah, I was resistant on getting in pellets. I have no idea, or can't remember why. Just because it's probably a little day. But it was just easier to come in, and again, I don't feel that ebb and flow, that up and down as much. It's more kind of at a good level and just more consistent.
well, and you are sleeping better.
Yeah.
And that,
And we need him to be sleeping well so he's no grumpy.
yes.
So I think one of the things I always tell people, the way you know your husband or your man is low in testosterone is they worked all day and they're feeling great, and then they come home and they become a couch potato.
Yes.
Right? You've spent all your energy at work and you have nothing else to give when you come home. So I tell people all the time, if you want your husband to do chores and to do things around the house, all the stuff we need done, because I'm one of those, I need to have everything organized all the time, I'm going to give you as much testosterone as I can to make sure all that gets done.
I had chores. It's just for not party being done.
Okay. Well, that was part of my protocol. This is the byproduct of what I need done in the house.
Yeah, well, it gets done.
Yeah. Negotiate.
We do better at splitting chores, and I was not a very good.
Yeah. He's better now.
She was the superwoman, and
Mm.
now I look at my son-in-law and you're not doing it to my daughter.
Oh, so now it's changed to
Yes.
Okay. Well, I love that concept because you talked a little bit earlier about the stress of being everything to everyone. I love if we can teach the new generation to support their wives and
Pitch in.
things and pinch in. Like a little bit goes a long way.
And it's all gonna be done. It's easier when you split.
And he sees it now big time.
I know.
Can it be done though?
Yeah.
Can they get out of their own way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And making sure that it is an equal part.
But even noticing is a big deal. Like
Yes.
noticing I was tired and now I've got energy, but can pitch in, give me more energy to do other things.
I agree. I was talking to someone about this yesterday. It is about growth. And even if it took you 30 years to learn this in your marriage, I mean, you got there. And hey, look, she looks very happy. And every time I see you guys, you have the best energy and banter together. I tell you guys this all the time. I love the sarcasm. I love the fun that you guys have in your relationship. And look, I'm not to say that marriage is work and you have to put the work in. And I feel like you guys have done a great job.
Well, thank you.
And I'm happy to be a little part
A
of
big
that,
part.
making you happy, feel good,
Not
look
grumpy.
good.
Yeah. Totally helps. And like I said, when other people are noticing, like my sisters and my brother are like, what are you doing that, like, you look younger than us and we're all a year apart. So what are you doing different? And I can say, well, it's not just outward, it's inward how I feel. And when you're happy, you look happy and your skin responds, everything responds. And I'm not saying giggling helps, but it does.
Well, you are definitely glowing outside and inside. So that
Thank
always
you.
makes it really helpful.
Try.
And I love that. Do you still, in your position now as a woman, I know we talked a little bit about sometimes not being taken serious. You are a cute little tiny woman.
Yeah.
I'm hoping in today's world, I feel like that was the same thing. I almost remember being in residency and making sure that I didn't put makeup on and that I didn't do my hair, that I was in a
You look
ponytail
hilarious.
and looked, the part and not being judged for what we look like and
Mhm.
be taken serious, right? That we're just as smart and intelligent and
Respect it.
respected. Hopefully that's changed a little bit.
Well, since I'm retired now, I can't say if it's changed, but I noticed through my daughters that they try not to come off as cute or not taken serious because they both have master's degrees. They're both very accomplished. And I tell them, look, the perception of women is different than the perception of men. And the smaller you are, it's almost like diminishing your seriousness and your respect. And
Because you're just so cute.
oh, well, thank you. But I wasn't always a blonde. So I was taken more serious when I had brown hair. And that's so silly in today's society that how you look, yes, affects how other people treat you. And if you look like a tiny little old woman, and sometimes my daughters will do what I call pet me, like rub me and say, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Oh my goodness, I'm not 100 years old. Stop it." But they are now better because they can see I'm more vibrant, more active, more everything. So they're not petting me as much.
It's like the superwoman. She worked. She made really good money. She is out there very successful in a sales world.
Yeah.
Which was a male-dominated world, and she succeeded in that environment. And I think our daughters saw that, and they kind of
Emulated it. Yeah.
that in their own careers. And they have a strongness about them, but they also have a lightness about them, where they can, manage, be a woman, not have to be a man, and to operate and still be successful. They can still be who they want to be. And it hopefully gets easier and easier. Now I have a granddaughter.
So your perspective is, but your perspective, I think, has changed a lot because you have a daughter and because you have a granddaughter.
Well, but you were an all-boy family, so
Yeah, it was.
you had growing to do.
Yeah, I did. It was, we had a son. He's a great kid, and we had 2 daughters, all very successful, hardworking. And I think it has a lot to do with what she did in all aspects of her life.
It's nice to have a powerful woman in the house. And I think we get to a point where we need to just not apologize for who we are, what we look like.
Well, and like
know
you
that we
said,
stand
not wear makeup to look more serious. That's not fair, because you want to look your best and be taken serious. So why not?
But like I said, when you're in a male-dominated field, and
Oh, yes.
medicine was a lot different. I don't know if I should age myself. I think I went there 25, 30 years ago when I was 60.
Oh my goodness.
It sounds so terrible, but
Not
it was a little bit different then, right? It was still a male-dominated field, and I even remember the surgeon on the PICU, and he came up to me and he said, "Don't worry." He goes, "By the time we're done with this, I will have made you cry, and I will made you blush, and I will like destroy you, right? And that's my game plan in life." And I looked at
Did
him
he
and
say
I
that
thought,
to the men?
I don't know, but he said that to me, and I looked at him and I said, "Well, you will never make me cry." I said, "You might make me blush because I can blush really easily." I said, "But you'll never tear me down, and I will never allow that." And he kind of backed off, and we ended up having a good relationship in time. But I wonder, I don't know if he said that to the men. I feel like we have to step a little bit differently, and I'm hoping that my child and your grandchild and everyone will continue to have a
Yeah.
little bit of a different perspective, and that we don't have to worry about that.
Well, and to be able to look your best too, and not be taken as a pushover just because you want to look good and do well.
It's a full body.
Yeah, men don't have that.
You walk in, you're hired.
Yes. And they're going to respect you from day one when you're 6'3".
No. We're working on it. We're just going to put on some platform heels and
Get in their faces.
that's it. And I like what you said. We don't have to be masculine.
No.
We definitely could be ourselves.
And, in work, I've seen where women thought they had to be a little bit old.
Mean.
And I thought that lost a little bit. I mean, they bring something different to the party, and it's good. I hired folks. When I was hiring folks, I didn't hire me. I had me. I want to hire something different. I want to hire somebody who brought something different to it. So,
Different
yes, I think
perspective. Yeah.
bring a great perspective. I just think they should keep their perspective from their point of view as opposed to trying to adopt somebody else's. Because that brings value to the whole work experience. And if you've got clients out there, the same thing.
He said that very well.
Yes.
We'll take that. We're going to be
That's from having the women in the in an balance.
But I think that's something we learn. I definitely over 50. Yeah, I don't apologize anymore. I'm going to walk in with power, and like it or not, we never mean to intimidate anyone, and that's the adjective we get, right? But
Power doesn't come from size. It comes from confidence.
yes.
And, quiet confidence trumps any tall. I've had some tall people that probably didn't have a lot of confidence, and it shows. So somebody who has that brings that sense of confidence and understanding who they are. That's very empowering, and they will be seen as a go-to person within the organization.
Okay, so now you're going to get to have my last question.
No, we're going to get tough questions now, right?
It's never a tough question.
It's no math.
So, my question is always, what does beauty mean to you? Because it means so different to everyone else, right? We've talked about aesthetics. We've talked about inside beauty. We've talked about wellness. When you think of the word beauty and you envision that for your family, for yourself, what would it mean?
Beauty's definitely internal. I mean, you have, there's the aesthetics of beauty. I think positive family life. I mean, beauty to me is kind of a feeling as a family. I spend a lot of time, we spend a lot of time with children, raising our children, being with our children. To me, even as I define success is not an economics equation. Success is, do you have family that love you? Do you love your family? Do you have friends that you get along with and love? And it's maybe because I'm just getting a little older and then my perspective might change it as I've gotten older. But truly, I that's where I see his beauty is in beauty in the person, right? Are you a good person? Do people like to be around you? Do you attract people that want to be around you? Or do you?
You're going to steal it all. I won't have anything said.
Well, just ditto.
Ditto's always a good answer. What he said.
I mean, so that's my perspective, and I do spend amount of time kind of working on the physical aspects, trying to keep myself in shape. And it's really because I want to live longer and I will, and be able to enjoy my kids when they were growing up, now my grandkids. So it's inspiring me to, stay as active. I mean, death is always going to win.
Yes.
Just doesn't have to go down without a fight.
Nice.
You ready for my answer?
I'm ready for your answer. And ditto cannot be.
Yeah,
the answer.
ditto is not the answer because I feel like
Well, it's like our wedding mass. Yeah, what he said.
no, I feel beauty is not only how you feel about yourself, but how you make other people feel. And I feel that if you can make other people feel good and there's beauty in that they're happy with themselves just by being around you. And that there's a lot of things that people don't realize that they can make other people really unhappy just by what they say or what they feel, or they just don't want to be around you. But if you're a bright light, I guess you could say, you attract people and it makes them feel good. That's beauty to me, that you're attracting people and they feel good about themselves when they're around you.
Well,
Are you gonna
obviously,
cry?
They're both bright lights. You are not making me cry this time. But I so appreciate you both coming on here. You both are beautiful bright lights. And thank you so much for being part of our family.
We appreciate you asking us.
Yeah.